Have you ever wondered if Noah's Ark was a real ship? The story is one of the most famous in the world, a massive wooden vessel built by a man named Noah at God's command to save his family and a pair of every animal from a world-engulfing flood. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain fell, covering even the highest mountains. When the waters finally receded, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, and life began anew. It's a powerful tale of destruction and rebirth found in the book of Genesis. But is it history, myth, or something in between? Let's dive into the evidence and explore one of humanity's most enduring legends. Before we even look at the science, it's fascinating to realize that the story of a great flood isn't unique to the Bible. In fact, it's a theme that echoes across ancient cultures. One of the most striking parallels comes from ancient Mesopotamia in the Epic of Gilgamesh. This story, which is much older than the biblical account, tells of a man named Utnapishtim. He's warned by the gods of an impending flood meant to destroy humanity. Just like Noah, he's instructed to build a giant boat, load it with his family, craftsmen, and animals, and seal the door. The storm rages for 6 days and 6 nights, wiping out all life on Earth. When the flood subsides, Utnapishtim's boat lands on a mountain, and he sends out a dove, a swallow, and a raven to find dry land. The similarities are uncanny, right down to the birds. This suggests that the Great Flood story wasn't an isolated event, but was part of a shared cultural memory in the ancient Near East, passed down and retold through generations. These Mesopotamian accounts, like the Sumerian flood myth featuring Zeusidra, predate the Genesis story by centuries, leading many scholars to believe they were the inspiration for the biblical narrative. So, if the story is this old and widespread, could there be a real event behind it? This is where archaeology and geology come into play, and things get really interesting. For decades, explorers and archaeologists have scoured the mountains of Ararat in modern-day Turkey, searching for physical remains of the Arkansas. While many claims have been made, none have ever been confirmed with solid evidence. However, there's another site that has captured global attention, the Durupinner Formation. Located about 18 miles south of Mount Ararat, this boat-shaped geological formation is astonishingly close to the dimensions described in the Bible for Noah's Ark, about 515 feet long. Discovered in the 1950s, it has been a source of intense debate. Some researchers, armed with ground-penetrating radar, have claimed to find evidence of internal structures, like bulkheads and chambers, consistent with a man-made object. They've even found what they believe are fossilized metal fittings. It's a tantalizing prospect, a massive, petrified ship hiding in plain sight. But the scientific community remains largely skeptical. Most geologists argue that the Durupinner site is a natural formation, a type of geological structure known as a syncline, which can coincidentally resemble a ship's hull. The metal fittings have been analyzed and identified as natural minerals rich in iron oxides. As for a global flood covering the entire planet, the geological record just doesn't support it. There is no evidence of a single, planet-wide sediment layer that would have been left behind by such a catastrophic event. However, that doesn't mean there wasn't a massive regional flood. One popular theory, the Black Sea Deluge hypothesis, suggests that around 7,500 years ago, the Mediterranean Sea breached a natural dam at the Bosporus Strait, flooding the Black Sea basin with incredible force. This would have been a terrifying, landscape-altering event for the people living there. A flood so epic it could have easily been remembered as a world-ending catastrophe and become the seed for all these ancient flood myths. So while a global flood is unlikely, a real, devastating local flood might be the historical kernel at the heart of the story. Let's switch gears and talk about the Ark itself. Could a wooden ship of that size even be built, let alone survive a global flood? The Bible gives specific dimensions: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. A cubit was an ancient unit of measurement, roughly the length of a forearm. Using a conservative estimate, that makes the Ark about 450 to 515 feet long. That is absolutely huge, longer than a modern football field. For a wooden ship, that scale presents immense engineering challenges. The stresses on a wooden hull that long, tossed about in a cataclysmic storm, would be enormous. Most naval engineers agree that without modern techniques like steel reinforcement, a wooden vessel of that size would likely break apart in rough seas. Then there's the question of the animals. Housing 2 of every kind of animal, or 7 pairs of some, is a logistical nightmare. We're talking about millions of species. Even if kind refers to a broader category than species, the sheer number of animals, their food, fresh water, and waste management would be a monumental task. Skeptics point out that fitting all of them, from elephants and giraffes to tiny insects and microbes, onto the Ark seems impossible. The care required to keep them alive for a year would need a crew far larger than Noah's family of 8. Despite the scientific and logistical hurdles, the story of Noah's Ark remains one of the most powerful and enduring narratives in human history. Why? What is it about this tale that resonates so deeply with us? The story is found in hundreds of cultures across every continent, from the Americas to Australia. The details change: the hero's name, the type of boat, the duration of the flood, but the core elements are often the same: a divine warning, a cataclysmic flood, a chosen survivor, and the eventual rebirth of humanity. This persistence suggests the story taps into some fundamental human experiences and fears. It's a story about survival against impossible odds. It's a story about judgment and redemption, a chance for a fresh start. On a psychological level, floods represent chaos and the overwhelming forces of nature that we can't control. The Ark, in turn, is a symbol of hope, order, and salvation, a sanctuary in the midst of turmoil. The story gives us a framework for understanding disaster and finding meaning in it. It's a narrative of divine intervention, assuring believers that even in the darkest times, there is a plan and a promise of renewal. This blend of primal fear and ultimate hope is what gives the story its timeless appeal, making it more than just a historical account. It's a foundational myth for countless people. So where does that leave us? The quest for Noah's Ark is a fascinating intersection of faith, history, and science. On one hand, you have a powerful biblical narrative and similar ancient myths that have shaped human culture for thousands of years. They speak to a deep-seated memory of a great catastrophe and a longing for salvation and renewal. On the other hand, modern science, from geology to engineering, presents significant challenges to a literal interpretation of the story. There is no conclusive proof of a global flood or the physical remains of a ship of the Ark's description. The Duru Pinner site, while intriguing, is more likely a natural wonder than a petrified vessel. Yet, the possibility of a massive, regional flood like the Black Sea Deluge provides a compelling link between myth and a potential historical event. Ultimately, whether you see the Ark as a historical fact, a symbolic allegory, or a myth inspired by real events, its story continues to challenge and inspire. It forces us to confront questions about our origins, our relationship with the divine, and our ability to endure and rebuild. The legend of Noah's Ark is not just about a boat. It's about the resilience of life and the enduring power of hope. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through history, science, and myth. What do you believe? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the world's greatest mysteries. See you next time.